coming up.
We are able to see the benefits, the pluses and minuses, if you will, of all the different breeds.
The traits that ranchers can use to be profitable, the mothering ability, the docility.
The truest genetic makeup I can find is the Red Angus-based cattle.
See why a third-generation butcher chooses Red Angus as his breed of choice. Next on The American Rancher. Hello and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minnick. The history of Kansas City is deeply rooted in the meatpacking industry. Through tragedy and the domination of meatpacking giants, one family-owned butcher shop perseveres as a cornerstone in the city's meatpacking legacy. For 3 generations, Bichelmeyer Meats has rewarded customers with value and exceptional customer service. And today, we'll see how the Red Angus breed is an important part of that value.
We are not born into the cattle business. We are in the cattle business because it's a vocation we choose to be in, to supplement the meat company that we have, and to also satisfy the desires that we had to be around livestock. Bichelmeyer Land and Cattle was started in the mid-1970s as a commercial cow-calf operation. It's an entity that was started by my brother, myself, and my wife. And we have continued to operate as a commercial cow-calf operation to this present day. We have been exclusively black or black-hided cattle for the first 30 years of our operation, and within the last 3 years, we have converted to exclusively Red Angus cattle in our operation. The transition was an easy one to make for me as a meat man and a cattleman. For years, I was made aware of the benefits of the Red Angus cattle, and I had always planted in the back of my mind the seed that if ever given the opportunity to convert a herd to Red Angus cattle, I would. We chose to move away from other breeds of cattle to the Red Angus cattle for a consistency of product. It was my observation through many years of doing business with a research and development farm that was north of Kansas City that brought in several hundred Red Angus steers every year. And we had the opportunity to harvest those cattle at the meat company. And every year, my observations were these are some of the best cattle that we will slaughter on a yearly basis. They were all Red Angus sired out of a commercial Red Angus herd. And so that planted the seed for me at some point in time to convert our cow herd to Red Angus. There was a time when the Red Angus to me weren't attainable because of their price point. However, within the last 4 or 5 years, they've brought themselves to be of the same value as the blacks or the other breeds of cattle. So given that opportunity, we chose to go red with our cow herd.
The Red Angus female has long been a benchmark in the industry in terms of maternal excellence. We've found them to be the industry's most preferred female because of the traits that our breeders have put into these cattle for a long, long time. Since its inception, Red Angus has been known for producing high-quality females, the traits that ranchers can use to be profitable, the mothering ability, the milking ability, the docility, all of those traits that make excellent females. We really feel like that, combined with this extra market value, has really pushed ranchers to capture that extra market value in those good females.
The advantages that I see as a cattleman with the Red Angus cattle is a truer genetic base, not as diluted as some of the other breeds, a more consistent, convenient carcass for us as meat people to merchandise. The retail cuts are a little more manageable in size than some of the breeds that have a lot of exotic breeding in them. The cattle are very heat tolerant, which is an effect that I didn't realize we would see the benefit of, but the cattle don't spend as much time in the ponds or under the trees in this high heat and high humidity that we've been in recently. They're out grazing sometimes in the middle of the day. And so that translates to more milk production, which translates to a heavier calf at weaning time. We are exclusively Red Angus, and we continue to see the benefits of that decision every day. The Red Angus breed has helped us with a more consistent product to offer to the public, our customers at Bichelmeyer Meat Company. They also are very efficient to feed, bringing us a little more loin-eye and a little less external fat than some of the cattle that we harvest fed the same way. We note that there's more marbling in the same size carcass on the Red Angus cattle versus some of the other breeds. So there are many benefits that we've achieved so far by the Red Angus conversion. We're extremely proud of a set of heifers that we have here on the ranch this summer. They're all home raised. We feel as though they're as good of a genetic makeup as we can find from outside sources. Therefore, we're choosing to breed our own heifers. We have done our homework, we hope, on the bulls that we're breeding the heifers to. And if they're true as they should be, we hope to have minimal calving problems with those heifers and grow a big calf at weaning time.
We found that Red Angus heifer will bring anywhere from $3 to $11 a hundredweight more than other breed sire types. The breeds included in that would be a British on British cross, a British on Continental cross, Angus, and Charolais. Our marketing team travels the country to not only promote Red Angus cattle, but also to assist those producers that use Red Angus genetics in marketing the calves that they produce. Our Herd Navigator is a commercial DNA panel for commercial Red Angus females. We also have the Red Angus Stockyards, which is an online listing of cattle. Basically, if you have Red Angus cattle to sell, our marketing team will assist you in marketing those cattle.
The Feeder Calf Certification Program is another way that the Red Angus Association of America is helping commercial cattlemen like the Bichelmeyers improve their bottom line.
The Red Angus Association of America has a long-standing tradition of not only servicing our members, but also our commercial cattlemen using Red Angus genetics. The Red Angus marketing team continues to develop programs designed to add value to Red Angus influenced calves. We offer the industry's most experienced genetic age and source verification program called the Feeder Calf Certification Program, or better known as the Red Angus Yellow Tag. More cattlemen are utilizing the FCCP tag than ever before to garner Red Angus premiums. This past fiscal year, the program enrolled over 210,000 head and experienced an 8% growth increase compared to the previous year. This growth is not surprising, considering the tremendous return on investment that producers are experiencing with this no enrollment fee 99-cent tag program. Recently, research has shown that FCCP tag calves garner a $2.98 premium per hundredweight compared to a non-tagged Red Angus influenced calf. This calculates to an $18 advantage per head on a 6-weight calf. This equates to a $1,430 difference on a potload of FCCP tag calves compared to a potload of non-tagged Red Angus calves. With premiums like this, commercial producers should waste no time enrolling in the program. To enroll, call the Red Angus office and complete a short supplier enrollment question and answer session over the phone to verify that you qualify for the program. Once qualified, tags are shipped directly to the producer where the calves are tagged prior to them leaving the ranch of origin. We have the option of either a 99-cent dangle tag, $2 EID only, or a $3 dangle EID combo set. The next step is to fill out the customer enrollment agreement and provide some basic calving records. You'll send this document in along with a copy of the first page of your calving book. Once this has been received, Red Angus will then issue your certificate of compliance, which is the document that buyers are looking for to verify your calf crop in the program. Alternatively, the Red Angus Association offers the Allied Access Tag, which carries the age and source verification benefits of the FCCP program without the genetic requirements. This program is designed for producers utilizing a planned crossbreeding program and has the same easy enrollment process as the Feeder Calf Certification Program. Both of these options are ways that the Red Angus Association continues to serve our commercial producers and help add value to their calf crop. Find out more on our website at www.redangus.org.
Coming up,
There was 18 feet of water over the top of his building. and that basically ended his business.
Mother Nature decimates Bichelmeyer Meat Company. See what happens when the American Rancher returns. Stay with us. Welcome back to the American Rancher. Bichelmeyer Meat Company began in 1946 as a small family-owned butcher shop in the midst of Kansas City's meatpacking boom. Big names like Armour and Swift dominated the city's stockyards, but Bichelmeyer Meats carved out a niche by providing high-quality meat products and excellent customer service.
Bichelmeyer Meat Company was founded by my father, John Bichelmeyer. My father's dream was to be his own business person, and with his family expertise in the meat business, it was his desire to start his own meat company. In the early days, his main focus was custom slaughtering and processing, as well as retailing. In the early years of my dad's business, he was in the hub of the packing industry here in Kansas City. The stockyards were just 2 miles to the east. There were all kinds of major packing houses in the Armourdale area. Armourdale is named after the Armour packing family. Swift and Company, Armour and Company, National Beef, Cudahy, John Morrell, they all had a presence here in the Kansas City area. It was my pleasure to come into business with my dad when I was just short of 20 years of age. In my formative years, if I wasn't involved with school or sports, he always had something for me to do here at the meat company, as the rest of my siblings. And so it was my desire to come into business with my dad during the years that I knew he was still physically active at the meat company.
But then, in 1951, Kansas City is overwhelmed by floodwaters. The city's entire meatpacking industry is devastated, including Bichelmeyer Meats.
There was 18 feet of water over the top of his building, and that basically ended his business for a short period of time. After the flood, this area diminished in its importance to the packing industry because the net receipts to the Kansas City stockyards had diminished. And then when the packers chose to relocate after the 51 flood, they moved to the source of supply, which was predominantly in the western Kansas area where the feedlots had established themselves. His workforce provided the backbone and the workforce for him to rebuild the building and therefore reopen several months later. His business continued to prosper after that, and it expanded as it saw fit with the property that he had purchased adjacent to the meat company. We are one place that has stayed true to our area, to our workforce. We have a lot of employees that have been with us. It seems like forever. They were here when I was a young man. We had a lady in particular that worked here until she was almost 90 years old. We have a lot of employees that had been with us for 40, 50 years. And so the people that currently work for us, most of them we have trained here, and so they know what to expect. We're in the trenches with them every day, so they learn by example as well as what we teach and expect from them.
In 1995, a scheduled roof repair reduces Bichelmeyer Meats to a pile of ashes.
One of our customers drove in off of the bridge and said, "Do you know you have smoke coming from your roof?" And we were busy processing and had a full store with retail customers in it. We hastily got some important papers out of here and made sure everybody was out of the building. Our fire department was here in short order, but they fought a defensive fire immediately. We went through a rebuilding phase, and fortunately our business came right back to us after we reopened. We've been going strong ever since then. Our business continues to prosper. We have some families that are 4 generations, 5 generations still shopping here at Bichelmeyers. Our ability to provide them with what they need at a fair and equitable price. It's the ability to give them the service that they desire, which is so lacking in some of our retail sales points that offer beef and pork for sale.
Coming up,
we are able to see the benefits, the pluses and minuses, if you will, of all the different breeds.
learn how Bichelmeyer meats set themselves apart with Red Angus genetics. That's after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to The American Rancher. At Bichelmeyer Meat Company in Kansas City, Missouri, Joe and his team deliver high-quality beef products to demanding customers. Part of their success is delivering value, outstanding customer service, and excellent meat processing. Switching to Red Angus genetics in their cow-calf operation improved that value even greater.
We face some of the challenges that other retailers face in that we have a lot of competition within our city here. Where we excel is in customer service and paying attention to retailing the meat properly. We let it age in accordance with the quality of the animal. We make sure that it's cut the way the customer wants it to be cut. We provide it to the public in the retail counter in a fashion that makes it very presentable. And ultimately, when we get feedback from the customer, it's 99.9% in a positive light. As consumers, maybe you have gone to the retail point before and you buy what appears to be a beautiful steak, and you take it home and you cook it and you're a little disappointed in its flavor or tenderness. It's not because it's not good meat, it just hasn't been merchandised properly. It's been rushed through from slaughter to presentation to the public, and it doesn't get the chance to age properly. And so we don't have to subscribe to that method of retailing. We can make sure that it's done in a proper fashion before it's presented to the public.
Okay, right now we're in our aging cooler. Aging cooler means that the carcasses are hanging and breaking down to where they're flavorful and tender as they possibly can be. The first few rails we're looking at are some Red Angus cattle grown on our ranch, fed in Lawrence, Kansas by a farmer feeder that finishes cattle for us. We slaughter 2 days a week here, Tuesdays and Thursdays, both custom animals and our own animals, and then we let them hang here till they're processed. In this cooler also there are customers' animals. In front of us here we have a very large animal as beef cattle go. The carcass is into the low 900-pound range, which is on the higher side of what we normally slaughter. It also shows that it's a somewhat mature animal. The skeletal structure tells me that it's probably approaching 26, 27 months of age. It's got a large loin eye, so it's got a lot of British breeding in it, whether it be Angus, Red Angus. Something has given it a large loin eye and a moderate amount of finish on the outside of it. This shows a lot of grain being fed to the animal pre-slaughter. You can see the absence of fat in a carcass like this. This represents a grass-finished animal. Obviously lighter carcass weight, obviously a little less cover and finish. So ideally this animal is better suited for the roast and the ground beef. Maybe the steaks will be not as palatable as they would be on an animal that's had a little more grain influence to it. But it's just what the customer raised, therefore it's what the customer gets back. In our custom slaughtering aspect of our business, we work with some people that have varied tastes. Therefore we see a lot of different breeds, a lot of different methods of finishing or not finishing cattle. So we get to see a little bit of everything in that respect.
Through our experience on the ranch and through our experience here at the meat company, we are able to see the benefits, the pluses and minuses, if you will, of all the different breeds. And through the meat business here is what influenced us to change our cow herd from other animals, Black Angus predominantly, to the Red Angus. Number one, they were more true in their genetic makeup. There was not as much deviation in carcass quality. Maternally, they were very strong and more docile than some of the other breeds that I've been exposed to. I think in the meat business, there's a place for most animals, regardless of their genetic makeup. if they're managed properly, if you know what your end result needs to be, and you know what the genetic makeup of the animal is, and you know the feedstuffs that you have available to you, most animals will work. But it's easier for us to make the Red Angus animals work on a consistent basis than any other breed I've ever been exposed to. The Red Angus breed in particular allows us to provide a high quality, consistent red meat product to offer to our customers. It's been my realization that over time, being exposed to all the various breeds and crossbreeds, that the truest genetic makeup I can find, therefore the truest source of red meat I can find, is the Red Angus based cattle. It's not anything that happened overnight. It's a progression of time and hard work and energy put forth by our family. And I would advise anybody that has ambition to get into the cattle business, it's certainly attainable, even though input costs are high, real estate costs are high, livestock is relatively high. All of those things are attainable with hard work and determination, and that's exactly how we got to this point today.
That's all the time we have today. We hope you enjoyed this show. To learn more about how Red Angus genetics can improve your bottom line, log on to redangus.org. And to find out more about us, visit theamericanrancher.com or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minnick. For the entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Superior.